Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the High Elves led by Hobo Honkers facing off against TMD and the Greenskins. And you know, a man after my own heart here, massive amount of Black Orcs. And yeah, Elite Infantry are just so fun to use. And Black Orcs I do think are one of the most cost-effective Elite Infantry choices. Just very, very good stats. Stalwart, massive HP pool. That's one thing Black Orcs have over a lot of other infantry. And they're immune to psychology as well. So the Greenskins going to be going for what appears to be a full court press. He's just bringing in a bunch of capture weight, a bunch of meat, a lot of HP in this build, and going to be trying to stuff his opponent back. Probably won't value trade as crazily, but I could be wrong. But yeah, just a lot of HP. Night Goblin with the Rampage and the Fermented Fungi and Curse at a Bad Moon. And in the back, we do have Ruggluds teaming up here with some Spider Riders on the outside looking to push in. So off meta, I would say, with the quad Black Orc here, but Ruggluds and the Goblin are pretty meta there. For the army of Hobo Honkers, he is going to be rocking an Archmage of Fire, which, unironically, it's not going to be that great. You know, it'll be good against, I guess, the supporting units, but against the Black Orcs, won't do a great job there. And the rest of his build is going to be Phoenix Guard. Okay, so the Phoenix Guard actually will be good here, because Black Orcs with the sword and or the axe and shield will not have a good enough armor piercing to really punch through the healing they have in just their armor in general. So I think that Hobo Honkers is onto something here. He's got the Phoenix Guard, which will be good against the Black Orc. And also will be good against the inevitable Warboy Biggins and things like that. Now, if the Greenskin player had brought Black Orcs with great weapons, it'd be a very different story. The Black Orcs with the great weapons would be able to fight a little bit better there. It'd be a cool thing if they integrated in this game. In the tabletop game of Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer the Old World, Black Orcs have an ability, I forget what it's called, but they can like mix and match weapons. So you can have like shields and you can have some great weapons mixed in. It's like I can't remember the name of the rule, but it's a very kind of cool concept. It'd be very hard to implement here. What you could maybe do is have them be switchable. So they could like, oh, it's like, is it Arm to the Teeth is what it's called? I can't remember. But what if Black Orcs could switch between their weapon archetypes? Like there's a third version of Black Orcs, which is like an Arm to the Teeth version. Oh, nice little Fanatics right there, by the way. Going in and boinking through a lot of the Elves, but also friendly firing the Orcs. So it ends up being a bit of a disaster, but that's what Fanatics do. But yeah, like a 1300 gold version, right? Or I don't know, 1350, where they could switch between the two. I think it'd be kind of fun. All right, so that is going to be a burning head, and that is a juicy target, as we do see the Orc Era Boys getting Shadow Realm to another dimension, so they're going to be getting cooked up. And the Greenskins do have the objective advantage and a lot of numbers here. Ruggluds, Armored Orcs, and regular Era Boys should be able to put some hurt down, and shooting into halberds is very cost effective. The Goblins creeping in the shadows. His Silver Helms are here in the woods. Pump Wagons are also there. I wonder if there's going to be some Boar Boys. Yes, Broken Tusk Mob will be a hard counter against those. That is for sure. Now, the Elven Archers in light armor, up trading into the Orc Archers makes sense. They have like 40 more range, so they should be favored there. In the meantime, though, Black Orcs do actually come around the back of the formation. The dreaded 29 movement speed flank. The Black Orcs going to be steamrolling these Storm Riders and then also getting onto the Archers there. In the meantime, Warboy Biggins are going to be eyeing the prize. They do see these Silver Helms. A Rampage from the Night Goblin would be a huge MLG pro gamer play. More Fanatics are released, and Orc Boys are now going to be sent in to target the Halberds, and the fighting is going well. Pretty even on both sides. The Pump Wagons did sneak through the trees, though. So they came through the trees, snuck past the Silver Helms, and end up getting a really balls-deep charge into the Archer line. So the Archers end up paying a big iron price there as they take a ton of HP damage. And so far, the Orcs are a little bit ahead in the trading here. So we do see the Black Orcs tying down Archers, Black Orcs tying down more Archers here. Another favorable play for the Greenskins, as the Broken Tusk Mob is going to be getting Spider to Bad Moon. A little bit of overkill, but certainly not bad. And they will be crushing these Silver Helms in combat. Won't even be a close fight at all. Now, Swordmasters of Hoeth, not a bad choice. Pretty much a hard counter against the Shielded Black Orc. Burning Head, really, really nice one there by Hobo Honkers. That's going to be helping them break open the formation. So the Greenskins here barely holding the wall, keeping them going a little bit. Does give them ITP. I don't think there's any terror nearby, but certainly does send a message. Orc Boys and Archers shooting in where they can. Value trading. The gap is closing a little bit, but certainly still the danger zone here for the High Elves, as Illyrian Reavers are on their way out. Storm Riders getting just tied down and taken to Pound Town. The Black Orcs here also taking down multiple Archer units. So the Black Orc flank was very big. And like we said, the Greenskins going for a stuffing strategy, but the Shielded Black Orcs are presenting a lot of problems. And the Archer line in the back is doing quite well. And the Broken Tusk Mob, I think, was able to win its fight over here. And now collapses on the back objective here. So the High Elves have had their back objective stolen. Granted, the Giga Chad Swordmasters, these guys are basically the Jedi Knights of this game. They are going to be getting in and ripping and tearing versus these Black Orcs. You know, I've actually seen this in tabletop. I've had my Black Orcs get wrecked by Swordmasters. But again, they were the shield version also. I didn't have great weapons in the mix. I do think Swordmasters do just win that fight. even in tabletop. I think their weapon skill is higher. I'd have to go back and look. But Black Orcs are amazing. From a cost-effectiveness standpoint, they're probably a better unit than Swordmasters in tabletop. But again, all my anecdotes are from like 2 years ago, so I don't know what the current meta looks like. Probably still just dragons being bullshit and shitting on everybody, and Cathay doing the same thing. But nonetheless, Forest Goblin Spider Riders and Broken Tusk Mobs scrapping it out on the High Elves objective back here. Points are getting a little bit dangerous. You know, this is going to be a lot of greenskin meat to push through. What I was about to say is, I think the High Elves need to call in a monster and try and cheese the Greenskin Lord. If you can get a cheese on that Greenskin Lord, really break that leadership down, it's going to make it a lot easier to push back. So Broken Tusk Mob looks like they're thinking about retreating. The High Elves are going to be getting their home point back. And a fermented fungi is used on the Company of Calendyrian. Interesting choice. Probably not worth it, in my opinion. They were already kind of just trapped there anyways. It does lower their melee defense and make them die quicker, but I think that could have been better used on, like, I don't know, Swordmasters or something else. So the Greenskins under a little bit of pressure on the back objective. It looks like the High Elves did call some Rangers out from the flank, although the Savage Orcs should be able to turn and trade well into the Rangers. And this is a big misplay by TMD. He's in a massive advantage right now, but letting the High Elves take your back objective like this, there's absolutely no reason this should happen. Look how many units you have over here. Those guys should all be pulling back and securing that point. Or these archers should be parked on the objective to provide the capture weight. But, you know, mistakes are made. I mean, the Greenskin player is playing very, very well in many regards, but that's just one of the few mistakes I've seen from him so far. All right, so now Hobo Honkers is back on the board, and that's going to give him a colossal amount of time to trade compared to what he would have had otherwise. Swordmasters of Hoeth basically just being Jedi Knights and taking no damage here. Cutting through these Greenskin infantry with ease, currently sitting at 800 value from having dispatched a Black Orc unit. And the archers here should trade well. I mean, shooting into the Keepers of the Flame is quite good. Savage Orc Biggins, not super good against these unit archetypes, especially with the Henry Cavill in there. I believe he does have the book too. Yeah, the leadership, expert charge defense, and cannot die. I think they can't die when they're above 50%, and it's still really cool. Hobo Honker is coming into the Reavers, going to be trying to deny the archer position, and the Greenskins do counterplay with some Orc Boar Boy Biggin. So good instincts on both sides, for sure. But I think the Swordmasters are kind of like a ticking time bomb. They're just going to be progressively cutting through all these units, and the fact that Hobo was able to backcap the Greenskins, we'd be closer to 900 points right now, and the Greenskin Lord looks to be in a little bit of danger. Getting hunted, sitting at 10 leadership, going to be hopping away on his little squig, trying his best. While the Savage Orc Biggins, though they are an anti-large unit, still, great DPS on them, almost 50 weapon strength. And the Boar Boy Biggins going to be dispatching the Reavers here, but the Phoenix Guard have pushed through. A couple Orc Boys going to be trying to time down. And Hobo Honkers does seem to be taking over the game a little bit. Just a series of unfortunate events for the Greenskins. The Lord being sniped obviously was a big one there. Letting this objective flip kind of took away his pressing strategy that he had. Although, I mean, look, if you can trap down this Archmage right here and swing the game back, this game is definitely far from over. But it just seems like the favor has gone from the High Elves, or from what was originally to the Greenskins, now to the High Elves. Boar Boys get a nice little charge, and the Archmage of Fire has seen better days. Baconator's going to be screaming over here and getting a charge on the Reavers, forcing them off the objective. Archer line is stabilized. Definitely need to unsummon some of the Savage Orcs to make sure you don't run out of gas right now. And the Blorks, Paul Blork, Molokop, having a hard time in the woods. Granted, there are some Squigs helping out here a little bit. But yeah, those Swordmasters of Hoeth sitting at 1,400 value, and they're going to be farming a lot more. Might as well just leave those Black Orcs to fight at this point, to be honest with you. All right, so big dragon, not dragon, but Archmage moving in. Dangerous, though. Tormentor Sword going to be locking down. The Bacon is going to be getting in there, man. That is not bad at all. I like this play as well from the High Elves, calling in Storm Riders to mitigate the pigs on the outside, because they'll hard counter the pigs, they'll counter light infantry. They can definitely threaten that objective and do put a bit of a clock on here. All right, Boar Boy Biggins getting pooped on by the Flying Flamespire Phoenix, so nice bombard right there. But yeah, getting a pick on this High Elf Lord would be a game changer for the Greenskins. But the bird droppings have been devastating, and wow, really, really nice by Hobo Honkers. I'm loving that play, man. That is clean. More Black Orcs coming out, man, but the Swordmasters are already on the table. Ruglud's Armored Orcs have gotten, I would imagine, okay value, about 700-800, so not terrible at all. And the Baconators are thinking about charging into the Storm Riders. I mean, they are going to get a back charge, which means the brace and the charge defense won't matter, but the Storm Riders have really good stats. They have 53 melee defense, so they'll probably still end up winning that trade, but that is a decent play by the Greenskins getting that enveloped like that. All right, more Blorks are on the way in. The Gremlin is hiding in the shadows. Savage Orcs still have a little bit of DACA left. Now the Greenskins, they're going to need a Wog here. They're going to need maybe some sort of great weapons. They need something, like Trolls. Still would suffer against Phoenix Guard, but at least they'll give you some like armor piercing. They're having to just raw dog it, dude. The Greenskin player's raw dogging this entire game dealing with armor. Like, he has very, very poor armor options, which, Understandably, he probably wasn't expecting what he's facing. You know, Phoenix Guard boxes, are they meta in this matchup? I don't think so, but on this kind of a map, yes, they can be. This is very much a map where you can move with like one Death Star up through the tree line. It's a cool map. I really like this one. The Lost Temple of Sotek, kind of an OG. More bird droppings, perhaps. Looks like he was thinking about it. Black Orcs might be able to just edge this one out. Just sheer grit and combat stats. The Keepers of the Flame and the other Phoenix Guard in a little bit of trouble. But yeah, we'll see how it all goes. Over here on the side, the Storm Riders are able to get that objective. Does not look like the Greenskins are going to be able to contest that one. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. It's kind of looking a little bit bleak here. Okay, this is great. Getting the River Troll Hag with Fate of Buna on the Swordmasters, chef's kiss. Very nice play by TMD. Very, very nice. Those are the kind of plays that Homeboy needs. And where's the Goblin, by the way? The Goblin War Boss, did he get broken? He's hiding in the trees. A true Goblin War Boss. You know, leading from the shadows. That's exactly what you want to be doing. River Troll Hag does not have Spirit Leech. We do have aspects of the Dread Knight, which is okay in this matchup. It's okay for, like, casting it on your blobs to keep them from breaking, because by giving terror to your units, you make your units immune to terror as well, so there's some cool applications for that. Spirit Leech probably just better as a secondary spell, but, you know, not terrible. Alright, so the Flamespire Phoenix being very annoying in the backfield. Greenskins do look like they're going to be reclaiming this objective, while the Brave Sir Goblin hides in the bushes. Yeah, just looking tough, though, man. High Elves really holding onto the points here. On the back, we do see the Fireborn coming in, which are going to be a death knell. Those Fireborn are going to be good against everything in the field. They'll wreck these Boar Boys. They're good against Black Orcs, actually, because they're just armor-piercing Dragon Princes. So even against, like, armored infantry, they're pretty damn good. And I don't know if I see too many avenues of a comeback for the Greenskins. Fate of Bune on the Dragon Prince is very nice. Okay, Tormentor Sword there. That's about as good as it gets. We could see the Pigeon coming in. The Archmage looks like it wants to dive on the War Boss. Aspects of the Dread Knight there. Not terrible. And do we see some potential throwing situations here? The Boar Boys getting us around to the Flamespire Phoenix with the Savage Orc Biggins. That's not bad at all. Little Gremlin that could, doing whatever it possibly can to scrap in this game. And we do see Mither activated. And the Hag's going to be coming in with their giant sack of meat and dropping the meat slam here onto the Archmage. All right, all right. And the Night Goblin War Boss is going to be skittering about. Yes, yes. A nice charge right there. Oh, that's wrong. Those are the Skaven. But nice pick here, man. This TMD guy's a scrapper. Honker is a very tough opponent. It would appear they're quite evenly matched here, as the Archmage is going to be hunted and punished. But now the question is, can the Greenskins get the objectives back? Despite getting some very favorable trades there in the fourth quarter, like dragging down the Phoenix, putting the Fireborn in the trash a little bit. I don't know if he's going to have the meat to really just get through and get the objectives, right? Like, if you look, High Elves are just bleeding him on points. They're going to be approaching 1,300 right here. We do see the Pump Wagons and some scrappy boys get that objective back. Still not able to get the home objective. High Elves can definitely Helm's Deep. Look at this. Phoenix Guard and Phoenix Guard. Oof. Talk about hard units to remove, right? Homie's at 1,400 points, and he still hasn't gotten his home objective back. But he did get the side. A good scrap back there, man. Really fun game. The Greenskins probably needed their Harry Potter out in the field earlier. I felt like it came out very late. But yeah, a couple, I don't know, maybe like Rusty Errors or some Trolls or something to punch through that armor. Man, it was hard. That was tricky. Well played, man. Really fun builds. We had the Henry Cavill in there. Phoenix Guard looking extra badass. Who doesn't love seeing that? And yeah, the bird droppings were great too. And look, the build worked out well initially. There was just like a couple small little misplays that I think gave, like losing that back objective was rough. And not really having like a mid-game answer against all that armor, right? Yeah. If you were to change the build up, I would imagine he would just index into a little bit of AP. It could even just be basic Greenskin Trolls, because even against Phoenix Guard, if Trolls are standing on top of Black Orcs, they'll trade well. But yes, GG, well played, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Awesome game by both players, and we will see you all on the other side.